Hello and welcome to 6 Minutes English. I'm Nell. I'm Rod. So you look tired, Rod. Well, I didn't sleep well last night and was tossing and turning all night, but I couldn't get to sleep. Well, that's a considered our topic today. Insomnia, the condition some people suffer from when they find it difficult to get to sleep when they go to bed. Thankfully, I didn't really have insomnia, but everyone and again find it difficult to get to sleep. Well, keep listening and we must have some advice to have wished that. But first, a question. What is the record for longest a human has gone without sleep? Is it A. About 7 days, B. About 9 days, or C. About 11 days? What do you think, Rob? All of those impossible. I saw possible. I got to go with the shortest about 7 days. Well, if you can stay awake long enough, I'm glad you know that at the end of the program, Dr. Michael Trainer is an expert in its own thing to do with sleep. He was interviewed recently on the BBC radio program Business Daily. He was asked what his best tip was to help you get to sleep if you are finding it difficult. What were his suggestions?
Michael Grandner is an
Michael Randers and I sound counterintuitive, but trust me, I got decades of data behind these statements. If you cannot sleep, get out of bed. So, Rob, how does he suggest you have to yourself to get to sleep? Well, actually, he says that the best thing to do is to get out of bed. That sounds actually the opposite of what you should do, doesn't it? Well, he does say that his advice is counterintuitive, which means actually that it is opposite to what you might expect. And he says this advice to pack up by decades of research, decades of a period of 10 years, and when we say decades, it's a general term for many years, at least 20. Let's hear that advice again from Dr. Trainer. And it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, I got decades of data behind this statement. If you cannot sleep, get out of bed. So why is getting out of bed good advice? Here's the explanation from Dr. Renner. When you are in bed, you are when you are in bed, you're not asleep. And you do that over and over and over again for extended periods of time. The ability of the bed to push you to sleep starts getting diluted. Not only that, it starts getting replaced by thinking and tossing and turning and worrying and doing all these things. When you not sleep to get out of bed, it is probably one of the most effective ways to prevent chronic insomnia. It's also as one of the really effective ways to treat it. It won't work 100% of time, but it will actually work more than most people think. We normally sleep in best in the desire to make it easy to sleep, but if we cannot sleep, let's make the bed in bed quicker. As Dr. Renner says, it dilutes the powers of the past to have you flip. When you dilute something, you make it weaker. For example, you can dilute the strength of the strong root by adding water to it. So if we stay in bed, tossing and turning with its impression, we used to the fright moving around in the bed trying to get to sleep. we begin to think of the bed as place where we want to flip rather as place where we do flip. So get out of bed to break the connection. This is a positive way to approach Fronic engineer. Fronic is an adjective that used to define conditions that are long-lasting. So we're not talking here about occasionally not being able to get to flip, but a condition where it happens very nice. Let's hear Dr. Ren again. When you when you are in bed and you not, at least you do that more and more, again for extended periods of time. The ability of the bed to put you to sleep starts getting diluted. Not only that, it starts to get replaced by thinking and tossing and turning and worrying doing all these things. When you're not afraid, get out of bed. This is probably one of the most effective ways to prevent chronic insomnia. It's also one of really effective ways to treat it. It will work 100% of time, but it will actually work more than most people think. Time is review today the vocabulary, but first let's have the answer to which question. What is the record for the longest a human has gone without sleep? Is it A, about 7 days? B, about 9 days? C, about 11 days? What did you think, Crop? I thought it must be about 7 days. Well, I'm right. You not right. The answer rather amazingly is actually just over 11 days. It traverses points for anyone who knew that was done in 1964 by Stephen Randy Runner. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's difficult to imagine even going to a couple of days without sleep, but 11. I wonder how long he slept for after that. 14 hours and 40 minutes. You got on this answer, haven't you? Well, when I can't sleep, I get up and read River. And now it's time for vocabulary today. Our topic has been insomnia. This is word for the conditions of not being able to sleep, and something that people do when they are trying to sleep is tossing and turning in bed. The opposite of what seems logical and obvious, a counterintuitive. It goes against what you might expect. So if you can sleep, get out of bed. As net word is diluted. This is from the word to dilute, which means to make something less strong. And finally, there was adjective chronic. This is an expression for a medical condition that is longest lasting. Someone who has chronic insomnia regulars had difficulty getting enough sleep. It's not just something that happens now and again. Well, we hope that 6-minute English isn't a cure for insomnia, but I do find listening to a raw podcast and broken radio help me get to sleep. I had to close. Well, before we all rough up to sleep from the comforting tones of your voice, Proud, it's time for us to say goodbye. That's it for this program. For more inquiries on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube pages, and occur at our website bbclearningenglish.com, where we can find all kinds of other programs and videos and activities to help you improve your English. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye. Bye.